Yeah.
So that's the defensive guys.
We
There's
got one more offensive guy. Yeah.
Yep. There's one more guy as far as the NFL. Now we're going to talk about some potential 5th and 6th year guys here in a second. These are more guys that are making NFL draft decisions. The other one is Kevin Austin.
Right.
Now, we have kind of said for a while now that we didn't think Kevin Austin was going to come back. If he had a good year, he was going to leave. And he's had a pretty good year. Not a great year, but a pretty good year, especially for a guy that's never played. And then he's got the bowl game. So there's still a chance he's going to leave. But I'm told from a source today that there's a chance that, barring some team convincing him he's a first-round pick, there's a chance now he can come back.
I hope he does.
Yeah,
because
he needs to.
He needs to from a, not necessarily from a production standpoint,
but Vince, he has 42 catches for 783 yards. He needs to come back from.
He's a 1,000-yard receiver, in my opinion. So he needs to come back. And he needs, but there's things he can polish up. Like his route running can be better.
There's a ton he can polish up.
His placement when the ball is in the air.
He was good this year because he's really talented, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only reason he produced this year. His technique's a hot mess.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love to work with that kid for a summer, because I'm like, man, if I could work with that kid for a summer, there's nobody guarding him next year.
Right.
It's just how I feel. Right. And if Notre Dame's able to get somebody that can work with him, whether it's keeping Dell Alexander and hiring a GA that knows how to coach receivers, or hopefully moving on from Dell Alexander, I don't know what they're going to do.
Right.
But if Marcus Freeman's serious about hiring guys can really coach and can really recruit, then Dell Alexander has to go, because one of those things is debatable. The second of those things is a no-brainer. He can't do it or won't do it, and that's the relentless recruiter aspect of it.
Yeah.
So if they're able to bring in a good receivers coach to work with Kevin Austin, and now he has experience.
Yes, exactly. Because look,
his game could explode.
Essentially a first-year player,
right?
Okay.
Well,
I mean, he's a
second. I mean, he was in the rotation as a freshman in 2018.
We've argued about this for sure,
but he played a whole year in 2018. He was part of the rotation all year that year. He only caught 5 passes, but he played.
Right.
He played.
Right. But yeah, this is a completely different situation, though. I mean, completely different. So,
but you can't say a guy's a first-year player who's played multiple years.
See, I feel like
he's a first-year starter.
While guys were getting a breather. Like I wouldn't even consider him a rotation player.
But that's still playing.
Can you check out how many snaps he got that year?
It was about 100. Yeah, I could find it, but it was about 100. I mean, he played. Yeah, remember they threw him 2 balls against Michigan. Remember, they tried to get him deep balls early against Michigan. He was part of the rotation against Navy. Remember, he caught that crossing route on like the first series of the game against Navy, took it 35 yards. So, but that he was just give guys a breather. That's just how they do it. I mean, that's just
hate. But
the point is that he played, right? So I mean, I just feel like we need to be accurate with what it was. Now, what you could argue, Vince, is you could say, because he missed 2 whole years in between, that cheapens that experience. Not cheapens the experience he did have as a freshman in 2018.
But it puts distance between the experience and where he's at now.
Exactly. It's not a fresh experience. Right. You could argue that.
That's an agree to
But
disagree.
I think saying he's a first-year player is not. He played 119 snaps as a freshman.
That's very surprising to me. That it just is. Just based on,
because he just wasn't targeted a whole lot, but he still played.
Right.
That's the thing. And that's in 11 games. So he averaged 10 snaps a game. So that's good. I mean, that's for what Notre Dame does with freshman receivers.
It's 10 more.
That's a crap load.
Oh yeah. If you're okay, if we're comparing, you're right. If you're comparing freshmen at Notre Dame, hand them the Heisman Trophy, hand them the Biletnikoff. I mean, shoot. Gotcha. You're muted, brother. Oh my gosh. You're still muted.
It's not blinking. It wasn't blinking.
I don't know.
Told you I need a new mic. The point is, this was his first experience as a guy.
A guy. Oh, absolutely, no question about it. And he needs. We could do a whole show on what he needs to work on. Yes. Okay, and that's not nothing. It's nothing against him. That just means he needs to polish some stuff up. I mean, no question.
Because he didn't play almost all of last year. I mean, that's the thing. He's got hurt in, was it June or July? Then he was out for a while. He was back for like not even a month, working back in there. He only played 2 or 3 games before he got hurt again. And then they were both injuries that kept him off the field. It wasn't like 2019 when he was suspended all year, but he still practiced every day.
Right.
Last year, he just flat out didn't play but maybe a month.
Sure.
So the point is, Kevin Austin's game has a long, like this is because this is the thing you have to think about when we're making draft decisions, right?
Right.
If we're being honest and objective draft people, we have to look at, okay, can he really improve his stock? And just production alone isn't going to take him from 4th round to top 15, right? He needs to be able to improve his game.
Right.
There needs to be things he needs to do. He struggled early in the season against big physical corners.
Yep.
He hasn't played a ton of those since then. The only physical big corners he faced were against USC. He caught 4 passes for 39 yards, and he struggled with 2 drops in that game. You know what I mean? Now, he's played really well since then, but, North Carolina had good corners. He had 3 catches for 36 yards. One of them was a really impressive touchdown, but not great production. He ripped up Navy. He ripped up Georgia Tech. He ripped up Stanford. They have bad defenses.
Sure.
So the point is that those aren't to take away from how well Kevin played. Kevin played very well. The point is NFL teams are going to look at that and say, I need to see you make a good catch against somebody worth a darn. And next year he'll have that opportunity. And also next year, I mean, you talk about him and Michael Mayer as complements to each other.
Exactly.
They're going to put defenses in a really, really tough bind.
No
and
question.
I think that's the thing that you look at and say, that could make both of them much, much better, to the point where I could see Mayer's going to be a 1st-round pick. I truly believe if Kevin Austin comes back and does what I think he's capable of, I think we could be having a conversation about him being a 1st-round pick next year.
I think
I'm not locking it in there.
Well, because he's got the measurables, right? I mean, he's got the physical attributes already, okay? And I think that's part of it. You can't coach size and speed. And I think he's fast, and I think he's got the size. And then now he just needs to polish up some other stuff. And those things I think can happen pending coaching decisions.
I would even argue it's more than polish. I mean, he just flat out needs to.
I was nuancing that word a little bit.
You were being nice is what you're doing.
You
were being nice.
I was.
Yes, you were being nice.
Fair enough.
Look, but that's the thing is he basically just got by on God-given ability this year.
Correct.
And I mean, that says a lot about his God-given ability.
Yes.
And that's what NFL teams care more about.
Right.
They care more about that than him being a polished route runner. My point is, if he could become a polished route runner and do the God-given ability and go run in the 4.4s, the combine, he's the guy that could be in the conversation for it. Because his length, like when they measure his arms, it's going to be like, what? That's just dumb. Like how long his arms are. And then if he can polish his game up, they're going to like what they see from him. Let's just say that.
I agree.
Let's just say that.